Ashley Lynn Bennett, matrix number 269433, and our group is discussing the California water pricing case study that was conducted in 1986. Now, let's look into the introduction section. Water? Well, this is definitely something that everyone knows about. As we know, water is an essential resource for all living organisms, and it is a renewable resource. In economics terms, water is a necessary good, hence making it inelastic. Because even if the price of water increases, it still has a steady demand. Now let's talk about the price of water. Water pricing is an important and efficient way of representing water scarcity. It is a tool for implementing a public water policy. Water prices have constantly risen due to rising demand and the necessity for further processing before being made available to users. California's water pricing crisis is a case study in price elasticity, demonstrating how water demand responds to price fluctuations. California is one of the biggest states in the USA. It has 53 congestional districts and a huge agricultural industry. It is also a semi-arid state, which is why water is so needed there. Semi-arid means dry land, almost desert-like, but not completely dry, hence the use of the term semi. California has 1,251 major dams and two of the world's biggest irrigation projects. Irrigation is the artificial process of applying controlled amounts of water to land to assist in production of crops. The gargantuan projects are Central Valley Project built in 1902 and the State Water Project that began in 1959. The evolution of California water law has several chapters. It first started with the early settlers as they followed the eastern state practice of granting water rights to the owner of the land near to the river or stream. This was called the riparian rights, from the Latin term riparian, which meant riverbank. Next came the gold miners in California, who were the first to systematically appropriate water for off-stream use. They established the first-in-time, first-in-right approach, which included defining maximum claim sizes, limits on the number of claims per miner, and the forfeiture restrictions. This was also known as the prior appropriation system. This system began to unravel in the late 1800s as the Eastern trained judges would mix riparian and prior appropriation doctrines together. This led to confusion that stifled the establishment of private water property. The miner system was replaced by a system of state control of water. This restricted the sale and transfer of water in the state. In 1928, California constitutional amendment limited water rights to amount that was reasonably required for beneficial use. Conservation of water was not a beneficial use, so farmers adopted the mindset of use it or lose it. This caused the farmers to not conserve any water during the time, and this doctrine lasted for more than 50 years.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Vishnu Subramaniam and my matrix number 270807. Now I'm going to continue with the second part, which is problem statement. So the problem here is discrimination water pricing. So in California, many developments have taken place in the California water law and are controlled by the federal law with some restrictions over the use of the water. Since there are many dams and a big project that provide water irrigation system throughout the state. However, government has many complications regarding the use of water, pricing strategy and distribution of the water. Government put some regulations over the use of the water and restrict the conservation that has allowed the farmers and people to use the water or waste it. The water provided the California is used 80% of the uh, irrigation system through a complex network of the local water agencies, wholesalers, and retailers. Those provide the water to those provide the water at a different price to the residential segment and the agriculture segment. So in California, agriculture users were paying less than the residential users, about $10 per acre root compared to $100 per acre root. This table shows the marginal cost in Southern California is significantly higher than the marginal cost in the Northern California. It has indicated different regions will be charged for different water price due to the different marginal costs. California crops are important in the agriculture sector, and in addition, farmer in different region used different amount of water to produce a given crop. The coefficients of variation, which represent the degree of the inter-region variation in the ratio of the water to non-water inputs, is much greater for an onion and pear than for rice and lima beans, for example. So price increase from a marginal cost scheme will differ substantially by region because agriculture water price are close to the true marginal cost in some region, and because the true margin cost is lower in some regions. There are still content imbalance in the water pricing based on the price discrimination concept. Moreover, we can see that the water pricing varies by attributes such as locations, populations, and economic status. The city water districts are consider in cities the water districts are considering requesting the state law to price the water pricing for all water authorities, urban and agriculture, at not less than each district marginal cost. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Edmund. My matrix number is 271970 and I'll be explaining the solution to the problems of water pricing in California. The solution to the California water pricing will be the implementation of the new marginal cost pricing and the consumptions. How would this implementation of marginal cost pricing system for water impact the total agricultural and urban consumption of water in California? Well, this will be applicable to both the agricultural and as well as the urban users. The difference in the marginal cost pricing will take place in different regions of California. The price of water depends on how close the price of water to the true marginal cost, which differs from each region. Due to the implementation of the marginal pricing system, the price of water will show an increasing trend. And as a result, both the agricultural and urban users are going to make an efficient use of the water for the growth of their crops. The increasing price will not change the demand because water is an inelastic and necessary good. For agriculturists, the change in total consumption will affect some regions more than others. Each region produces certain crops, so those crops in need of more water will be much more affected by the marginal cost system. If the total consumption of water does not decrease, there will be little to no effect on agricultural use of water because farmers will continue to grow crops based on the demand of their crops. Urban and the residential users will benefit from the marginal cost system because the price of water will be lower than what they are currently paying for. If the total consumption of water increases, then the demand will increase due to the lower prices. However, the price of certain crops may increase because of the increased price of water for agriculturists, and urban users may experience an increase in buying a particular crop. Moreover, water is a limited resource, so agricultural and urban users will have to find more efficient methods in water use and reduce the total consumption. Furthermore, after a total water availability is assessed, a large share of water must be directed towards urban areas because clean drinking water is almost always the number one priority. The price of water will increase, motivating urban areas to decrease water waste and increase the efficiency of water. Let's see, for example, in the North Coast, The current average price of water was $20 per acre, and after the implementation of the marginal pricing system, the cost became $50 per acre. Due to this variation, the prices of water increased by $30 per acre.
Hi guys, I'm Nassim here with matching number 271454. Next, I will be presenting about marginal cost pricing system and market equilibrium. As we all know, marginal cost pricing refers to a pricing approach in which a firm charges a product according to its marginal cost. Now, let's see how the application of marginal cost pricing system will affect both price and the quantity of crops available in the market, which will lead to changes in the equilibrium. Due to the marginal cost pricing system, there is an increase in the average price for water by crop. As mentioned earlier, certain regions produce certain crops and the average price increase for water is different for every region. Because in some regions, the agricultural water price is closer to the true marginal cost, whereas in other regions, the true marginal cost is lower than the agricultural water price. Thus, in Exhibit 5, it can be seen that the average price for water by crop has increased variably from $30 per acre foot for crops such as rice, $40 per acre foot for crops such as almond, $70 per acre foot for crops such as oranges, and up to Moreover, the water usage for every crop is very different. There are some crops that need more water than the others, which will lead to a higher usage of water. For instance, if we have a look at Exhibit 6, it shows the average factor share of water, which is the percentage of total cost accounted for water. Here we can see that the average factor share of water ranges from 1% for celery to 35.8% for grain hay. This means that the production of grain hay requires more usage of water compared to the production of celery. Besides that, every farmers do not use the same amount of water to produce a given crop. Farmers in different regions use different amount of water to yield a given crop. The coefficient of variation of input ratio, which refers to the degree of inter-region variation in the ratio of water to non-water inputs, differs for every crop. For example, if we take a look at Exhibit 8, we can see that compared to the oranges, onions have a greater coefficient of variation input ratio. On the other hand, farmers also do experience difference in the production cost due to the variation of fertility among the lands. A land with higher fertility has the ability to supply sufficient amount of water to the plants compared to the land with lower fertility, and this makes the land with lower fertility require more water. Hence, farmers associated with the low fertility lands will have a higher production cost. Location of crops and the factor share of water for each crop will affect the producer's income. Hence, it can be concluded that the increase in average price of water for crops after implementing the marginal cost pricing system will decrease the producer's revenue. As the marginal costs are higher than the current average price, this will increase the cost of production and eventually will lead the production to decrease.
So marginal cost pricing affects both price and quantity. So an increase in price will cause the consumer surplus and the producer surplus to decrease. So referring to the graph on the left, when the supply curve increased from S0 to S1, price increase and quantity decreases. So this will cause purchasing power to decrease and hence consumers' well-being will decrease as well. And additionally, producer surplus will also decrease because marginal cost will be higher than the previous average market price. Conclusion: water is vital for one's well-being, and the price rates that are too high can affect consumers badly, as it has affected the people of California. The main solution to the problem of water pricing in California is to implement the marginal cost pricing system. This plays a role in different aspects such as in consumption, market equilibrium, and the supply and demand curve of water. As explained previously by my group mates, the demand of water, or in this case the consumption, is not affected by the increase of price because water is a necessary good and is inelastic. In regards to the market equilibrium, it is noted that as the price increases, the quantity supply decreases, and the market equilibrium will increase. Additionally, consumer surplus will decrease because of the increase of water pricing. This is then reinforced in the supply and demand curve solution, as it is proven that an increase of price will decrease both consumer and producer surplus. Thank you. That is all from us.